गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. The teacher told in the third verse, Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddhamayoyam purusho yoshat shraddhasa eva saha. The faith of everyone, O Bharata, conforms with his nature. A person is made up of faith. He is verily what his faith makes him. And here we saw that that in human beings, in all people, faith is that which is making them. What proof we have that our mother is our mother? Only our faith. Only because they said so. What faith do you have that you were born on this particular date? Only that piece of paper. You have faith that this is the correct paper. What faith do you have that you are flying from here to India, you will reach India? Faith. That you will go to sleep tonight and you will get up in the morning. That is also faith. So every moment every human being is only functioning in faith. There is no other ingredient which is more important than faith. And we must have, I think I mentioned it last class, we must have faith in scriptures. Why we should have faith in scriptures? Because we don't know them. Then we should have faith in the Guru because we don't know him, what he knows. We should have faith in our Ishta Devata or the Lord because and because that is why we are attracted to one particular Lord. Someone is attracted to Krishna, someone to Shiva, someone to Devi, someone to Kartikeya, someone to whoever, Vyas Maharaj. Why? That is also out of faith only. It's a natural affinity to that God, to that particular form of the divine. And last but not the least, we must have faith in ourselves because we do not know ourselves very well. We don't know who we are. And that's why the confusion. That's why the breakdown. So we must not, in our life, as we are moving around, we must not allow anyone to take our faith for a ride. We should not allow that. And this way, otherwise what will happen? We'll start doubting our scriptures, we'll start doubting our Guru, we'll start doubting our God, we'll start doubting our own ability to improve, to excel, to be inspired. That much importance the faith plays in our life. So therefore this Shraddha is the first thing by which we have to begin any understanding. Until and unless scriptures say, if you read Bhagavad Mahapuran, the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Mahapuran, Canto 1, are Bhagavad Mahatmya that comes from the Padma Puran. Okay? What is Mahatmya? Mahatmya means the greatness, the glory. Unless and until, and how do you establish reverence, respect, greatness towards something? By not allowing anyone to break your faith, isn't it? Those who are even politicians, if you are in Liberal or Labour or BJP or Congress, it's your faith that you believe in these values, and therefore you will not allow anyone else to break that, isn't it? So, this Shraddha is the first thing that when we have this greatness, feeling of greatness, that great feeling of greatness, feeling of reverence is directly proportional to your faith in that particular cause or deity or guru or scripture or why are we attracted to Bhagavad Gita? Why are we not attracted to Kriya Yoga and Kundalini Yoga? Natural affinity. See? Because here the understanding is coming. Why understanding is coming? Because you have respect and reverence for Bhagavad Gita. See? And this is the principle which is a common principle for everything in life. Then we came to the 4th verse. So, what was the 4th verse? Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasaha pretan bhuta ganaschanye yajante tamasa janaha. Therefore, we infer from the effects whether our Shraddha is sattvic or rajasic or tamasic, from the effects. So those who are having a natural, we were looking at it last week, those who are having a natural inclination of serving the Lord, they are of the Satviki Shraddha, and those who are having the, what does it say? Yaksha Rakshansi Rajasaha. Those who are having Rajasic Shraddha, they worship the yakshas or the rakshasas or the bhoot pret. And those who worship the demigod, yaksha and rakshasa. And those who worship the demi-gods, that is the bhoot, etc., bhoot ganas, pretas and the bhutas, they are having the tamasic shraddha. And in this way we were looking at this particular verse, that in the 81st OV, in the 4th verse, which chapter? 17th chapter, 4th verse, 81st OV. ते तमो गुणांचे सार काढूनी निर्मिले नर जाण तामसी येचे घर श्रद्धेचे ते ऐसी इही तिही लिंगी त्रिविध श्रद्धा जगी पै हे यया लागी सांगतू असे. जे हे सात्विक श्रद्धा जतन करावी प्रबुद्धा येरी दोन्ही विरुद्धा सांडाविया. हे सात्विक मती जया निर्वाहती होय धनंजया बागुलनो हे तया कैवल्यते. तो न पढ़ो का ब्रह्म सूत्र ना लोढ़ो सर्वशास्त्र सिद्धांत न होत स्वतंत्र तयाच्या हाती. He says in the 81st OV, such persons who are formed from the essence of tamas quality are the very homes of tamasic faith. These are the three kinds of faith. So we told you what were the sattvic, those who are serving the gods, those who are rajasic, those who worship the gnomes, that is yakshas and demons, and who roam in the sky, and those who are tamasic, having tamak shraddha, they what you call, have faith in the corrupt souls which are harsh and cruel, like the pretas and the bhutas, etc. And in this way, uh, these are the three kinds of faith, and I am telling them to you with the sole object that you should conserve only the sattvic faith and discard the other two faiths. Huh? So, the way out of this maze of sattva, rajas, tamas, the doorway is the sattva. Understand this much. And everything that we have studied from chapter 2 till now is only enhancing the sattva guna in ourselves. See? Body is tamas, breath and mind, where there is emotions and chanchalata, that is rajas, and intellect, which is sattva, if you take it in that manner. Then in intellect also the convictions are sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. But it's already refined now. So here from the symptoms we saw who are we praying to, who are we having faith in the black magic, are we having faith in the tantra, upasana, are we so greedy that instead of praying to the Lord Ram, who is our Ishta Devata, temporarily we go in the direction of Kuber Maharaj, who is a Yaksha. Why? We want the money, we want the wealth. So these are the symptoms. And here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, he who preserves the sattvic faith has no apprehension about the attainment of liberation. So as long as we have faith in the Lord. ओए क्या हो गया? So, he who preserves this sattvic faith has no apprehension about the attainment of liberation. He may not have studied the Brahma Sutras or the scriptures or become acquainted with the Vedanta doctrines. See? We are studying so much, every verse of Bhagavad Gita for last I don't know how many years, racking our brains, trying to understand what scriptures did Nisargadatta Maharaj study? He just went to one satsang. The teacher told there, Tattvamasi, you are that. And he says, what is he going to gain by telling me that I am the infinite one? What is he going to gain? What is his interest? There cannot be, because he was a BD shop owner. He always gave something only in return. So when this Mahatma, this sannyasi told him that Tattvamasi, you are that, he says, what is he getting by telling me that I am the infinite? Nothing. Therefore he must be telling the truth. No study of scriptures. And he, in 2 years, he locked up himself in the room in Mumbai, in a kholi. And in 2 years' time, he came to realize, I am that. No scriptures. Absolute faith in the words of the teacher. Our problem is, we are the doubting Toms. For everything we are ready to doubt. At the drop of a hat, we are doubting everything. We are doubting our own ability every time we say, I don't, it is so difficult. It is, I don't know if it is possible. Is it possible in this life? Is it, I'm not understanding it. You are undermining, you are not having faith in your own ability. You want someone to hold your hand and take you across. That's never going to happen. That one who holds your hand is the faith. And it can get invoked only if you have it in these four places: Shastra, Guru, Ishta Devata, and yourself. See? And this sattva is the doorway. As the mind purifies, what does purity mean? What does sattvic mean? We have said it before many times, where the direction of the thought, instead of going out, is inward. The quality of the thought, more rather than tamasic and rajasic, it is sattvic. It is more towards the self. And third, the quantity of thoughts in the mind is decreasing. This is one way of looking at it. It is, then your mind is sattvic. Another way is where your mind comes to a disposition of equanimity. That is sattvic shraddha. That is sattvic mind. Unless we don't have faith that I can get to that point, who is going to help us? He may not have studied the Brahma Sutras or the scriptures or become acquainted with the Vedanta doctrines. But as long as he is living every day with faith, performing every action, thinking every thought, speaking every word as an offering to the divine, why will it not happen? It will happen. In this lifetime it will happen. But our faith gets invoked when we are in a satsang. Rest of the time our faith gets disassociated from the sattva guna or the Lord, and it goes to the world, tamas. Today only someone, last night when I went to sleep around 1:30, at that time someone SMS'd me. What is that? Swamiji, my mind is on one hand is trying to secure the future. On one hand, my mind is trying to secure the future. And on the other hand, the mind wants to surrender to the Lord. On one hand, it wants to secure the future, and on the other hand, it wants to surrender to the Lord. How do I bring it about? And I am going crazy with this thought. See? So neither that person has faith in himself that he can secure the future. He is at a very good position. How much more? How much more do you need to be secure? This question came to me also once upon a time. And you have to take the plunge and know in the heart of your hearts, that is faith. And what is that? That ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. That as long as I am contemplating, thinking, listening to the glory of the Lord, chanting His name, contemplating on His nature, He will take care. See? As a child, the child falls so many times, but he continues to expand his abilities. He continues to expand his abilities. It is only because of faith. He learns how to walk, he learns how to run, Then he learns how to speak, he learns how to study, he learns to recognize the alphabets, the numbers, the tables. And continuously that child is expanding and expanding and expanding. Then that child becomes responsible by getting married, then has children, becomes more. Now responsibility is expanding. His ability to take care, before he was taking only expanding in himself, for himself, now he is expanding, having taken one more person within the definition of I, then one or two children, more people, in-laws, parents, in-laws, extended family, everyone is now, he is expanded to that much. And then a point comes where we stop expanding. Then we stop expanding. Why don't you reach the zenith? Keep expanding, keep exploring your potential. And the Bhagavad Gita is only bringing this about. It's invoking the potential that is lurking within. And when can that potential be invoked? Can it be invoked in the past? Can it be invoked in the future? No, it can be invoked only in the present. Only in the present. In the now. But if he follows in the doctrines, okay, for 86th verse, परिश्रुती स्मृतीचे अर्थ जे आपण होऊनी मूर्त अनुष्ठाने जगा देत वडील जे हे तयांची आचरती पाऊले पाऊनी सात्विकी श्रद्धा चाले तो तेची फळ ठेविले ऐसेला हे पै एक दीपू लावी सायासे आणिक तेथे लऊ बैसे तरी तो काय प्रकाशे वंचिजेगा काये के मोल अपार वंचोनी केले धवळार तो सुरवाडू वस्ती कर न भोगी काई हे असो जो तळे करी ते तयाचीच तृषा हरी की सुआरासीची अन्नध घरी ये रानो हे. He says, but if he follows the footsteps of those who have comprehended the meaning of the Vedas and the Smritis, and who by their exemplary conduct have become worthy of being adored by the whole world, he wins the same place as they do, meaning those who follow the path of knowledge, the path of the scriptures, those who have followed that, and if he is following them, studying the scriptures as you are doing, as Arjuna did, as Parikshit Maharaj did, you will have absolute, there should be no iota of doubt within our bosom. That we will not reach the destination. It is even greater if you feel, or if you come to this disposition that I am already there. I understand it. I just need to work on the mind a little bit more. That's all. And what you have to do, what you have to work on? Body disidentification, that's all. See, one lady was there, one Mahatma was giving a lecture. And this lady came and she was listening. She came. And while the satsang was going on, she came a bit late. Old elderly lady went around the Mahatma one round, he is speaking. She didn't care. Took the flowers, offered it at the feet, and went and sat down. And the lecture was going on in English. And when everyone was laughing, she was laughing. But she kept looking. In the end, the Mahatma asked her, because looking at her, he could understand that she may not be as well versed in the English language. So he asked her, Amma, kuch samajh aaya? She said, समझ कुछ नहीं आया पर इतना मुझे पता है कि आप कुछ अच्छा ही बोल रहे थे. आप भगवान के बारे में ही बोल रहे थे. That you must have been talking about God, you must have been talking about something great, something higher, something worthy. And therefore I come even if I don't understand, so that my ears are receiving those higher words. Understanding is not required. Understanding is at the level of intellect. See? Have you seen God? No. You have blind faith in Him. Do you understand scriptures? No. In the area of ignorance, faith is necessarily blind. Do you know that when you were born through the womb of your mother? No. So it is blind faith that you are accepting your mother as your mother. You are accepting that you are going to get up tomorrow morning when you sleep tonight. It is out of blind faith. In the realm of ignorance, faith is necessarily blind. So here he says that before he said that if someone has not studied the Brahma Sutras or the Upanishads, etc., and or is not and is not acquainted with the Vedanta doctrines, but if he follows the footsteps of those who have comprehended the meaning of the Vedas and Smritis, and who by their exemplary conduct have become worthy of being adored by the whole world, he wins the same place as they do. Our problem is, if you look around all in the society, in the humanity actually, what? People, rather than following the knowledge, following the qualities that a Mahatma is exhibiting in his life, they become form oriented, and then cults begin. The person becomes more important than the teachings that he is imparting. This is the biggest mistake human beings or seekers are doing. And if they don't stop this, then they're just elongating their journey, that's all. Just elongating their journey. So we become person oriented. We don't become the quality oriented or the teaching oriented. Even if you don't want to listen to what he's saying, you watch that person, see what his qualities are. Like I keep telling, when Swamiji comes here and I travel with him for 1 month, lectures I have heard, I still hear his lectures. But that 1 month, I get to observe. What am I observing? What is that space from where he is functioning? Always equanimous, always in joy. No expectation of any sort for 1 month. And he's not doing it just to show it off to me. He's like that everywhere. But that is what I have to learn. But if I say, oh Guru Maharaj, oh this, oh that, and I'm want to spread his name, I want to do this, but I don't want to follow walk the path that he is walked on, the qualities that he is exhibiting, then I lost the plot. And that's what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying here, that a person who is established in the knowledge and in the meaning of the Vedas and the Smritis, that is the Puranas, and who by their exemplary conduct, we fall in that category. See, we are acharyas. We are following the how should I say? We fall in the category where we teach the scriptures and we live by the dictates of the scriptures. And Avadhut, he doesn't live. He may have studied the scriptures, he may not have studied the scriptures. But he can abuse you, he can hit you, he can, if you ask, he says, go, I will not tell you. He can do whatever. You cannot put him in a box. What is going to come out of an Avadhut's mouth, you can never know. But when you come to this Acharya Parampara, as we are here, where the student has studied from the teacher and the teacher was a student and his teacher, and that Parampara where we take the scriptures and we communicate the nuances, the knowledge, and communicate it to in such a way that it is digestible by the mind as well as those who are listening. This is the Acharya Parampara. We are not professors. We are not pracharaks. Pracharak is who wants to spread the knowledge without practicing it. Professor or philosopher is who knows about the spirit by word, by thought, by research, but he has never experienced it. That is a philosopher. Acharya, in which category we fall, is we teach and we do our best to follow the dictates of the scriptures. And while doing this, automatically, some day will come that we fall into the position where it is, whether teaching is there or not there, it does not matter. So within this process, this system, Brahmavid, Brahma Varishta, the one who knows the truth and the one who is able to communicate the truth. That is the category that we are following. That is the methodology we are following. If I take all this knowledge to a yogi, he will not be able to understand. He only knows yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. He only knows chitta, vritti, nirodha iti yoga. He knows only samadhi. He's too much concerned about purity. He's too much concerned about, it's okay, you can begin that way. It doesn't matter. I also began that way. And by God's grace, the scriptures came. When I reached a particular point, what next? Expansion is required. Expansion of what? The expansion of the I. The I is trying to understand itself. And the yoga or the Kundalini Abhyas could only reach a particular level. What next? Till then I had not read the Bhagavad Gita. I had many copies but never read it or understood it. But when we went to the ashram, it was like a bomb. Wow! No time. When I used to open Bhagavad Gita by myself, sleep. Didn't know what was Upanishads, didn't know the word Brahma Sutra, never heard of it. And yet when we went to study with the teacher for 2 years, it was, click after click after click, every day click, every class click. Wow! Because you're completely available. That is expansion. Expansion is coming to realize that there is only one without a second. Yesterday I told in the class in Vivek Chudamani, what was it? Inside it is Aham Brahmasmi, outside it is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything everywhere is Brahman alone when we look at this cosmos. And when we look at ourselves, I say, I am Brahman. This is the realization. So Brahman here and Brahman there is the common denominator. And this realization must happen without a thought. पागल हो जाओगे, पागल होना जरूरी है. पर तुम योगी को इतना कुछ बताओगे, उसको नींद आ जाएगी. तो ये हमारी ये शास्त्रीय पद्धति जो है वो ये है. एंड इसमें ये, एंड हियर इट इज नॉट दैट यू चूज द टीचर. नो, you make yourself, you purify yourself, you have to pray to the Lord for the right teacher to come into my life. That's all I can do, because I know I cannot select a teacher. That does not mean that I'm going to blindly follow anyone. One person came, I thought it was the teacher. So I asked, will you teach me the scriptures? He said yes, $21,000 per year, 2 years. So it was not in my capacity, left it. But the urge increased even more. I need to have a teacher, I need to study, I need to, because inner calling was there. And things happened in such a way, within 4-5 months, everything sorted itself out. Better than I could have ever managed. Then what did I do in those 4-5 months? I kept the flame alive. I kept the flame of contemplation of the self. How do I convert? How do I experience what I am experiencing on the speed of meditation? In samadhi, you experience you are. Then why do I not experience I am as I am when I am out there in the world? How do I expand this I to include the entire creation? Entire creation, waking, dream, deep sleep. That possibility is only through Vedanta. And that time I did not know this word Vedanta also. But I knew that the natural next step is this, because I had come to a full stop. What after that? That was my approach. Maybe if I had continued, maybe it would have happened. I don't know. By God's grace. But in this person, it expressed in this particular manner. And the teacher came. And it's not that I straight away accepted the teacher. I checked it out, who he is, what he is. And as a few weeks went by, the conviction that I am in the right place. That here is a person who is not who is giving what is right. He is not allowing this mind to get distracted even an iota from the ultimate goal of life. See? If a person succeeds with great effort in lighting a lamp, and another without effort lights his lamp on the former, does he get cheated in respect of the light? This is from a teacher to disciple. This is what the lamp in this seeker's mind was lighted by his teacher. And this, if while this person is speaking, if these words can light a lamp in your mind, and this is how it continues. Father does the same thing to the son or the daughter. Important is light must be put on, not remain in ignorance. If a person builds a mansion at a great cost, would not another person derive the same comfort if he lives in that house? If someone has done lot of tapasya, who will you go and study from? Whom will you go and learn yoga from? A person who has just done a 6-month yoga course and come and ready to experiment on you. Themselves they are not adept. 6 months nobody can learn yoga. See? You do a crash course and you come and you start teaching. So many are there like that. You start teaching. Will you study from such a person? Just because that person looks good or is smart or is beautiful or has a sweet voice or he makes you laugh, but substance is not there. The other day someone asked me, Swamiji, I want to learn chanting. I said, okay, come. And then they started one day. The first thing they asked me, first thing is not anything about chanting. Guess what could it be? First question was, Swamiji, how much do you charge? So where is your attention? Did you come to pay or did you come to learn? Did you come to pay or did you come to learn? Because they must be doing the same everywhere. So, if the first question in the first class, in the first moment of interaction is, how much do you charge? Then are we interested in the learning or are we interested in the transaction? See? Then I told her, Amma, you cannot afford. So better take it as long as I am available. See? But in this society, everyone feels that only if they have paid, then it is worthy. If it is free, it is not worth it. It is not worthy. And I see that in my Sanskrit classes. So I had to put a new rule there. What is that? If you miss the class, you have to pay $10. But otherwise, class is free. If you miss, you have to pay 10 to me. But because the Sanskrit classes are free, people take liberty of coming or not coming. But if they pay every class, they will make sure they get the return for the $10 that they have paid the teacher. And they will take to task that why you are finishing 5 minutes early or 10 minutes early or whatever. Why are we repeating the same thing? But when it is free, there is no commitment. And this knowledge cannot be sold. This knowledge cannot be sold. Run away from those who are selling it. It's freely available. All you have to do is switch on. That's all. Switch on yourself. By studying these scriptures in various satsangs, all we are trying to do is switch on. Knowledge is available infinitely. Infinitely it is available. Everywhere. The teacher just imparts the knowledge how to click into it. But you have to make yourself available to that clicking. Teacher cannot make you click. Even if a lamp is brought, but if the wood is wet, will the wooden stick, will it catch fire, or it will only bring out smoke? It will only bring out smoke, isn't it? Continued exposure will be required in order to dry that stick, and then it may catch fire. This is our condition. We are also wet. What is wet? We are lost in relations and possessions. We are lost in body identification. We are lost in taking this world to be real. Prepare yourself. Make your mind single pointed. Make your mind pure by doing japa or doing pranayama or whatever. And with that prepared mind, come to this class. See how quickly everything starts clicking. See how quickly it starts clicking. Otherwise, only smoke. What is smoke? Confusion, ignorance, non-understanding, doubts. Repeating the same doubts coming for last 10 years. Why? Because we have not become available to it. Listening to it, but not available to it. We have not become subjective. We have not become purified. So, would not another person derive the same comfort if he lives in that house? If a person has studied the scriptures, done the sadhana, contemplated, been in meditation, known the truth, when you come and associate with that person, naturally it will benefit you. He has done all the hard work. He can guide you where you are going wrong, what pitfalls are there, what symptoms are there, how to come out of them. But you go to a person who has just yesterday started, and because you are caught up in the personality, or you are caught up in the sweetness, or you are caught up because your wishes are fulfilled there. Many people go to Mahatmas only to fulfill their wishes, that their convictions are seconded by those teachers or masters, so-called masters. Many of them are behind bars now. Many more will be behind bars as time goes. This is not a transaction at a material level. It is a transaction where consciousness lights up consciousness, where this conscious individual is reminding that you are also a conscious individual. You are not a stupid one. You are not a virtual one. You are not an illusory one. You are the absolute one. This is lighting up. If a tank is built by a person, will it satisfy the thirst of the builder only and not of others? If someone has built a well, dug a well, will it not benefit other people? So is our being, our disposition, our interaction, is it benefiting other people? Our attention is not that I have to go and benefit others, but we have to purify ourselves. We have to live in the sattvic mode, the purified mode. See? So sattvic mind is equal to single pointed mind, is equal to focused mind, is equal to concentrated mind, is equal to expanded mind. It all means the same. And this will only happen when you have faith that this is a necessary thing, this is the necessity. I must bring my disposition from tamas, from laziness, inertia, sleep, to rajas, and go beyond to sattva. When food is cooked in the house, does it give satisfaction only to the cook and no one else? So, is our life giving benefit only to ourselves? Are we living in that cocoon? That me and my life. Okay, life has forced you to get married, have children. Now me, my wife and my children. Expansion stopped. Don't do this disservice to yourself. The name of the game is nature wants you to expand. According to the Kundalini Yoga, by age 49 you should be realized. Your Sahasrara should be open. Every 7 years one chakra opens up. When you are 7 years old, the Mooladhara opens. 14 years old, Swadhisthana opens. 18 years old, 18 or 7, 3, 21. 21. At 21, the Manipur opens up. 28, Anahat Chakra opens up. 28, next क्या है? 35. 35, the Vishuddhi Chakra opens up. 41, Agya Chakra opens up. 49, over. Story over. But where are we stuck? We are below Mooladhara. Still living only in survival. Remember the question, how do I secure my future? We are only securing. You know, life has pushed you to 40, 50, 60, but we are still at 7 years old or 14-year-old. We are not grown. Children have grown to become fathers now or mothers, but we are still the parent. We are not grown in maturity as a parent. This is the tragedy. So, is our disposition, is our presence in the society, is it adding value to someone? Is our presence affecting other people positively? Our attention should not be on wanting to change the society. If it is a calling, you can't stop it. Gandhiji had a calling and he went with it. But you will become aware of your calling only when you are purified. Are people avoiding us? That when we come to the room, everyone, like when the cat comes in the room, all the rats are in their holes. Are you like that? Or when you come, everyone just hangs around out of love, out of affection. See? Continuing in the 91st OV, बहुत काय बोलो पैगा ये का गौतमासीची गंगा ये रा समस्ता काय जगा भोहोळ झाली म्हणवनी आपुलिया परी शास्त्र अनुष्ठिती कुसरी जाणे तया ते श्रद्धाळू जो वरी तो मूर्खू ही तरे. So he says, does the river Godavari become holy Ganga only to sage Gautama who brought it to the earth and a brook for others, or is it the same Ganga for everyone? Therefore, he who follows in good faith those who act according to the precepts of scriptures more assiduously than himself become liberated even though he is ignorant. Now you think you do puja. Have you go and buy, Ganapati is coming now. You will go and buy Ganapati Murti. You will bargain there with the shopkeeper. He will say $20. You say no. Oh, last time you gave it to me for 15. Then you will bargain, come to 16 or $17. You bring that statue at home. After so much bargain, for God you were bargaining. Because there it was only a statue for you. When it came home, it became God. But you don't know, it is only mud. But to that, you do the puja, you do the Shodoshopchar puja, you do the 108 names, you show the Naivedya. How do you do that? Out of faith, isn't it? You take bath in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever. Australia, they take at night. They take bath and sleep. And they spray and go to work. So what do they? Water is coming from the pipes. But we say Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhum Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. So by chanting that mantra, what is happening? We are believing, we are having faith that the river of all the holy rivers is coming on us. It's only faith. When we go to Gangaji and we take a dip, that she destroys all the sins within our mind. It heals us. So many people get healed. It's only faith. Faith can move mountains, man. So everything, you are listening with faith, I am speaking with faith. So in this manner, he who follows in good faith, those who act according to the precepts of the scriptures. So with faith, to the best of ability, you will automatically get attracted to the ritual aspect or the manasik puja aspect or the japa or the meditation or the yoga or the Sahasranam or the Vedanta sadhana that we are doing. Automatically your inclination will be there. And it does not mean that if you are listening, you should only listen. It can be different things at different times. But the goal is clear. And only such a person who follows the scriptures becomes regularly, does the abhyas of it, becomes liberated. So, you, me, everyone, every individual, every seeker is necessarily ignorant of his own essential nature. Even though he is by nature the absolute truth, He is by nature Atma, but he is ignorant of that fact. And when he approaches himself with faith, taking the support of the Ishta Devta, the Guru, the scriptures, he comes to be established, which is called as liberation. Fifth verse says, Ashastra vihitam ghoram, Ashastra vihitam ghoram, tapyante ye tapo janaha, tapyante ye tapo janaha, dambhahankara sanyuktaha, dambhahankara sanyuktaha, kamaragabalanvitaha, kamaragabalanvitaha. अशास्त्र विहितं घोरं तप्यन्ते ये तपो जनाः दम्भाहंकार संयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः. He says in the fifth verse, men who undertake severe austerities not prescribed by the scriptures out of ostentation and egotism, overpowered by passion and attachment. Then the sixth verse continues, it's a continuous thought. कर्षयन्त शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्त शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान् कर्षयन्त शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्त शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्. So men who undertake severe austerities not prescribed by the scriptures out of ostentation and egotism, overpowered by passion and attachment, mindlessly torturing all elements, forming their bodies and me too within their bodies, know them to be of demonical resolve. Know them to be of the demonical resolve. So understand what is being told here. Men who undertake severe austerities. Have you seen Ramakrishna Paramahams doing any tapasya? Have you seen Ramana Maharishi doing any tapasya? Have you seen Nisargadatta Maharaj doing any tapasya? Have you seen Anandamayi Ma doing any tapasya? Have you seen Shirdi Baba doing any tapasya? Gajanan Maharaj, have you seen him doing tapasya? Gora Kumbhar doing any tapasya? Nivruttinath, Jnandev, Sopan, Muktabai, have they done any tapasya? But when you think of tapasya, oh, Hiranyakashipu stood for 10,000 years on one leg with hands up like this and prayed to Brahmaji for immortality. Ravana, he also stood and he cut his head one after the other as an offering as an oblation to the fire to get the boon of Amritattva from Brahmaji. Bhasmasur, he cut his head. First he stood for so many hundreds of years, thousands of years in tapasya. When Shivji did not come, he started cutting his head. First he cut his body, then he cut his head. Then Shivji had to come. And when he gave him he said, whoever I touch, he should get bhasma. He should become dust. And then he went after Shivji only. He says, why not I start with Shivji? I'll get Parvati for myself. Okay. So wherever there is tapasya, wherever there is austerity, understand. If you are one of those, we have all been guilty of it. I have been sitting for 2 hours. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I sit for 3 hours, 2 hours, and I don't even move. I did pranayam for 1 hour every day, morning and evening. Tapasya. I chant the japa for so many number of malas. Tapasya. Because we want a particular result. We want a particular result. Many people come and ask us also, Swamiji, what time do you get up? I said, whenever eyes open, I get up. What time do you go to sleep? Whenever eyes close, then I sleep. Oh, so you don't get up at 3:30. I said, come and check it out. Why should I fall into that trap? Our goal is to remain in the Sahaj Bhav 24/7. Not have a specific, special, mystical, esoterical experience of divinity. That is not our goal. When that is the goal, then we have decided Krishna looks like this, Shiva looks like this. This is what he says. Mindlessly torturing all elements. What are the elements? Space, air, fire, water, earth. Forming their bodies and giving it a form. Giving Ishvara the form of Chaturbhuj. We are talking from Vedanta. When we are talking about scriptures, understand one thing. What are scriptures for us? When we are studying Vedanta, what are the scriptures?
Vedas, Upanishads.
We talk only about Upanishads. That is Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras. This is Vedanta for us. And in its light, we study the Puranas. In the light of the Upanishads, we study the Itihas. Itihas means so it happened, or as it happened. In the light of the Upanishads, we study the words of the masters. So when we are reading this OV after Bhavartha Deepika, the commentary of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, we are studying in the light of the Upanishads. He is also speaking in that vein only. Our teacher even taught us Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which are about yoga, about mind, about chitta vritti. But that also we were taught in the light of the Vedanta. See? When we say Vedanta, Vedanta just does not mean, just now I said it means Upanishads. Upanishads is Vedanta. But what does the word mean? Vedanta? Veda Anta. Where the Vedas, the creme de la creme of the Vedas are the Upanishads. Where the Upanishads also end, there Vedanta begins. Where the words end, where the thoughts end, there the self begins, or self is always, but it reveals. So Vedanta, even though at an empirical level we say it is the Upanishads, but Upanishads are directly indicating who I am. So the self is Vedanta. The Atma is the Vedanta. The Brahman is Vedanta. No other scripture in the world, no other scripture in the world brings you to this point where it says you have to discard us. Upanishads say you have to discard us. The Vedas say you have to give us up. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Vedanta, or the self, or the reality, is that which the words cannot reveal. They can only knock, they cannot reveal. The mind cannot comprehend. Every religion is about some form, some personality, some cult. So, all austerity, all tapasya is ego driven. So, if you think that listening to this satsang is a tapasya, it is ego driven. It is ego driven. But if you are subjective while listening, let the ears listen, you remain subjective. Then it will be effortless. So let's see what Jnaneshwar Maharaj is explaining here. He says, Na शास्त्राचे निकीरनावे खाकरो ही नेणती जीवे परी शास्त्र ज्ञाही शिवे टेको नेदिती बडिलांचिया क्रिया देखोनी वाती बांकुलिया पंडिता डाकुलिया वाजवीती आपले नीची आटोपे धनित्वाचे निदर्पे साचची पाखंडाची तपे आदरिती आपुलिया पुढिलाचिया आंगी घालूनी कातिया रक्तमासा प्रणीतया भरू भरू. I'll read till 100 and then भरू भरू रिचविती जळत तकुंडी लाविती चेड्याच्या तोंडी नवसिया देती उंडी बाळकांची आग्रहाचिया उजरिया क्षुद्र देवतावरिया अन्नत्यागे सातरिया ठाकती एक अगा आत्मपरपीडा बीजतम क्षेत्री सुहाडा पेरिती मग पुढा तेची पिके बाहू नाही आपुलिया आणि नावे तेही धनंजया न धरी होयतया samudri jaise. He says, then there are those who are utterly wanting in the study of scriptures and are not prepared to permit those proficient in the scriptures to cross even the boundary of their town. Who are these people? The yogis, the pranayamis, the kundalini followers. They don't want knowledge. Do japa. See? Do japa. Do yoga. Knowledge? No, leave it. Don't follow knowledge. Utterly wanting in the study of scriptures and are not prepared to permit those proficient in the scriptures to cross even the boundary of their town. They mock at their elders who offer worship and prayer to God and clap their hands in derision at the discourses given by learned men. And this you must have seen within this society also. Within one family, if someone is going to the satsang, he becomes an excuse to crack jokes. Within your social circles, you must have all kept it secret. You must have all kept it secret. When you go for your drinks or you go for your social gatherings, there you don't go and tell, oh, every Thursday I attend the Gita class. Why don't you come and join? Because you are afraid you will be judged. You are afraid you will be mocked. You are afraid you will be made a laughing stock. See? So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that there are people, this was from our point of view, now from worldly point of view, there are people who are only drink, eat and make merry. Who knows what is there afterwards? So those who are going to yoga, they laugh, they are condemned. Those who go to satsang, they are condemned. Those who sit in silence, they are condemned. Imagine you go in your own home, you sit down in silence for 2 days. See what havoc gets created in the house. What happened to you? Did I do anything wrong? Why are you so quiet? Are you angry with us? Are you planning to leave us? What happened? What happened? Is everything okay at work? No, why? Everything is fine. No, no, no. Something must have happened. Why you are so quiet? 2 days you have not spoken anything. Give it a go. Make an experiment. See how the world comes to pull you out. If you start going to a satsang, you start going to an ashram, you start doing puja at home. अरे दे मॉक यू. अरे क्या हो गया? भक्त बन गया क्या एकदम से इतना भगवान से प्यार कैसे हो गया? At every stage, the society, which includes your relatives, your own family, they are ready to persecute you. At every step, you by mistake, even if they see you doing it, they are ready to question you, they are ready to make a joke of it. But they will not see that if dad and mom are doing it, there must be something in it. Let us also follow. Then why are we doing this? Like there are some kids at home. They say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like doing that. I said, every day if you make this habit now, as you grow older, it will become a big problem. You will be a misfit everywhere. No, 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 no. Then how should we live? I said it, told few times, but they have to make the change within themselves. We live our life based on likes and dislikes. I don't love this, I don't love that, I don't like, no. I don't like doing this. It's not what you don't like doing. So what is to be done in life? If exam is coming and you have to study, you have to love studying. You can't say that I don't like studying. So love what you have to do. Don't do what you love. This is the statement of the Bhagavad Gita. Love what is required to be done, wherever you are. At this moment, if I am speaking and I start saying I don't like speaking, it doesn't work. They mock at their elders who offer worship and prayer to God and clap their hands in derision at the discourses given by learned men. देख सोचते हैं कि दुनिया को बेवकूफ़ बना रहे हैं. What is this? In front of a statue, Sukarta, Dukarta, Vata, Vignachi, Nurvi, Purvi, Kripa, Jayachi. In front of a statue, in front of a... You only bought it and you are only doing it. This is our faith, Bhaiya. And this is where the present generation, it has got so disconnected from their roots. It's not a joke. They follow the austerities practiced by the heretics, being full of conceit of their greatness and intoxicated with their riches. Huh? So where there is wealth, where there is opulence, where there is lot of money, where there is everything is chakachand, meaning all glittery, like a 5-star hotel, I think that is the right place where I should go and follow that is my teacher. True teachers, you will not find them so easily. True teachers are not walking around on the street declaring, I am a great teacher. True teachers will never go after the money, after the opulence, after accolades, after becoming getting a reward or a recognition by the government, Padma Bhushan, OM, etc., etc. It is just a ego journey, that's all. Think. Think a little bit coolly. Whom do you want to follow? Or whom? Problem is, whom do you want to follow itself is a wrong question. But this is the question that comes in our mind. Whom do I go to? Instead of becoming qualified and allowing a teacher to come into your life, we want to choose, we want to be in control, we want to decide that this is going to be my teacher. Then you take yourself and make yourself available to that organization, to that master, to that trickster. And then after 5, 10, 15 years, when you have been sucked dry, taken advantage of, made go round and round, then after a long time has passed, then you realize, my God, how come I got caught up in this? You only decided to go there. You only decided to pay. You only decided that if I pay more, like that Scientology thing, first course 3,000, second course 10,000, third course 15,000, then 21,000. And the more you pay, the more clear you are, the more closer to God you are. Pathetic, man. The more you pay, closer to God you are. ये कौन सा rule है? It is not given anywhere in the scriptures that the more you pay, closer to God you are. The more you are attached to an organization, the more you have got responsibility, closer to God you are, more sattvic you are. Nowhere it is given in the scriptures. We are not talking about the Manusmriti, the Bhrigu Samhita. You are talking about scriptures, meaning Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra. Full of conceit. Look at that Mahatma who was, I don't want to take names, but he is in jail right now. Bapu something. Another one from Bangalore, the CBI team went after him, took all the money and went and bought an island, and now he has launched a reserve bank of Kailasha. He's floated his own currency, started his own kingdom. Is this a Mahatma? Is this a seeker? But where do we get attracted? Where there is power, where there is affluence, where there is siddhis, that we get attracted to. Because it's out of the ordinary. A Raman Maharishi who does not do any miracles, we don't get attracted to that fellow. But you see, Satya Sai Baba, millions. On his birthday, 3, 4, 5 million people come into Puttaparthi. I'm not saying he is a hypocrite. But because he shows the siddhis, and he shows the siddhis only as a visiting card. He was well versed in the scriptures, naturally, because he is an avatar. Some one person comes and he got married, and then he gives fantastic lectures on Bhagavatam and Ramayana, very popular in India. And his marriage was in tatters. Just married, married late, marriage in tatters. And somewhere one day he came to Bombay, came specially to Swamiji, asking for guidance what to do. You are guiding thousands. When he speaks, 10,000 people are listening to him, and he can't handle his own private family life. Yet another person who comes on TV, two wives he has, and speaks on Bhagavad Gita, speaks on wears these type of clothes, and all drama is going on. You won't even know who is, how deep the hole goes. So rather, what? So why we are telling all this, or Jnaneshwar Maharaj is telling, or Bhagavad Gita is telling? It is not. We will attract only where our faith is. Our faith should be that we should become sattvic. We should become pure. Our intentions should be pure. Our speech should be pure. Our demeanor should be pure. Our actions should be pure. Then the right person, the right teacher, the right learning will come into our life. It is a foregone conclusion. So here he says, they follow the austerities practiced by the heretics, being full of conceit of their greatness and intoxicated with their riches. हो गया time. So with this 95 we did till 100, no? But anyway, till 95. We'll do the rest 5 next week. So in this way, today we conclude that we are not judging all the masters, but there are many hypocrites out there. As many good people, Mahatmas are there, that many bad also are there. So how do we not get caught in the wrong ones? Be true to yourself. Have faith in yourself that I am going to purify myself. I have faith that the Lord will send the right teacher into my life. With this faith you begin. You continue in life. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit in silence for half a minute. Hari Om.